Hi, I'm Lita Leapins.
And I'm Jim Gordon.
And welcome to another special edition of Our City Tonight.
Well, folks, we're back on kind of a familiar spot, familiar ground. A year ago this month, we came to showcase the wonderful shops of Creek House on Granville Island. We're back to show you more.
And we're very excited to meet some of the newer people, as well as some of the old tenants here in Creek House.
That's right, we're going to head up to the restaurant Sandbar after you watch this. Well, our Creek House host, Dave McCann, is joining us here in a great store. Dave, I got to be honest with you, Dave, I have not been in here in a long time, but eyes are dashing everywhere. The wonderful things you can find here at Rhinoceros Gift Store. You're filling in for the owner who's not well today, which is kind of
That's
you to
right.
do so. Tell our viewers a bit about this great store.
Rhinoceros has been here about 40 years. They bring in 40 some odd years. They've used to have another store called the Christmas Presents that it's not here anymore. But they bring in these interesting gifts from around the world. Some of them a bit racy.
I was going to say, I've seen some socks that
yeah, well,
I don't think I'll be
we won't
buying.
take a picture of those today. But some really, really interesting things to give. If you've got a friend that you'd really like to give something and make them smile, this is a place to come.
Yeah, and I'm seeing kids in here because you've got a lot of great kids toys.
Oh, there's some wonderful things.
I mean, just our camera here.
I bring my 8-year-old godson in here occasionally, and he just loves the stuffy section.
Oh, that's so cool. Hey, we should mention too, this is not something you see everywhere. Because there's such a great, rich history here on Granville Island and in Creek House, the floors on which we are standing right now
That's right.
are about 100 years old.
This building was Monsanto Chemicals, and they used to run forklift trucks around on the floor. These are 2x8s or 2x10s on edge, all nailed together. The floor does not move.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's first growth fur, and it's just wonderful to see.
Yeah, and it's maintained and looked after. Yeah. Hey, Dave McCann, we'll see him, of course, throughout the show, joining us here in Rhinoceros.
I am standing in one of my absolutely favorite stores at Creek House on Granville Island, and I'm with Clement. We are in Kim Dolly. It is not just a bead store, it is a gems, semi-precious gems, crystals. Tell us a little bit about your business.
So we have been in business here for 12 years on the island, and we have local customers, we have tourists, we have bead enthusiasts that comes in for all types of stuff.
Yeah, and designers. One of my favorite designers shops with you, Sonia Picard. I'm just gonna say hi to her. She's very, very particular. So that gives you big kudos to this great store. It's a family business. You've been in business with your family for over 20 years. Tell us a little bit about where you source all these great gems and beads.
Well, they are sourced from all over the world, all the beads, and we get them cut and polished and brought here.
Oh, they are absolutely gorgeous. Walking through the store is magical. Now, a holiday season is coming. Anything that people can expect? There's going to be some specials. I know you offer great specials to your businesses in the industry.
We do, yes. And we offer specials to everyone that comes in as well.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. Well, here we are in Kim Dolly Beads, one of the most beautiful, sparkling stores at Creek House, and definitely encourage you to come down and meet Clement and the rest of his family.
Well, I'm now in Honey Dip Studios Jelly Gallery with Olivia. You know, there's some sort of donut tie-in with all these names. Olivia, tell us first about the studio. You've been here a little while, and the connections to a really well-known donut place.
Yes, it all starts with Lee's Donuts, and we have developed this space as like our community art space.
Okay, and you've got two artists you're highlighting. You just started an exhibit about 2 weeks ago running through the holidays featuring some really up-and-coming great artists.
Yes, so what we do here is we have the Jelly Gallery and we host different artists, and Israel Rodriguez will be exhibited from November 5th on going through the holidays.
Okay, talk about how it's been for you here with people coming in. I mean, you can see this sign from way down the street, which must be great for customers.
Yeah, no, we want this space to be not only like an extension of what we do over at the bakery, but to partner with other Granville Island festivals, businesses. We have wonderful, like a wonderful array of programming. We've worked with things like Pride and Culture Days, and we even will have like a book club coming up with a local bookstore here.
Excellent, Olivia. Thank you very much, and I'm going to enjoy one of those Lee's Donuts. I've never had a Lee's Donut before. They're here on Granville Island as well. Come check out Honey Dip and Jelly Gallery as well, right here in Creek House.
We are now in Inukshuk Gallery in Creek House Shop area, and guess who we're back with? We're back with the expert Dave to share a little bit about the history of this gallery. There's a little bit of history behind here.
This is the oldest gallery on Granville Island, the first arts-related shop or business. It's be 49 years this year. Wow. Next year's its 50th anniversary. It was originally Creek House Gallery, set up by 5 women that ran basically their artist studios here. And in, I think about 2008, I sold it to Erla Boyer, and she changed the name to Inukshuk Gallery. She's one of Canada's foremost experts on First Nations art, Inuit art. She's kept many of the products that I carried, many of the artwork that I carried and artists that I carried, and brought in a whole new slew of her own.
Wow.
So it's a beautiful space.
It is an absolutely beautiful space, and you were mentioning that we're back in an area where they expanded, so it was small, quite a bit smaller back then?
It was about 60% of what the gallery is now. The entire area that we're speaking in, this used to be washrooms on the first floor of the Creek House.
Interesting. I have to say this is absolutely gorgeous. And so again, talking about holiday season, you can get some exquisite pieces here.
These are gifts that you pass on to the next generation.
This is collectibles for sure. So definitely encouraging everybody to come out to the Inukshuk Gallery here. It is stunning. I am blown away.
Thank you.
Well, one of the things that Lita and I discovered and showcased in the first Creek House episode a year ago is that above the shops that people go to, there's a whole network of businesses that you can check out. And we're in one of the offices right now. Of course, toward the end of the show, we'll introduce you to a whole group of people. But first, so we're in one of the offices with Tatiana. You're with Vati, which you're going to explain to our viewers right now. What is that?
It stands for the Vancouver Art Therapy Institute. And so we are a school. We've been around for about 40 years and 12 years on the island.
And how long have you've been here in this building, Creek House, since 2010?
That's right.
Describe a little more, because you've got students from all over the place that are interested in taking part in your courses. So explain a little bit more of what you offer.
So what we're doing is training people to be art therapists. So it's working with art as a modality in therapy. And we have a few programs. One is an advanced diploma program, and for that program, that's where a lot of our students come from places all over the world. So it's been a little bit difficult during COVID.
The last couple of years, right?
So we all went on Zoom, but you know, we have students from places like Hong Kong and Peru and Iceland and so on, and they come and they learn about how to utilize art therapy, and then they go back to wherever they live and practice art therapy there.
Well, it's wonderful to have you on the show. As we said, there's a whole community just above the shops, you being one of them. But Tatiana, thank you for joining us, and continued success with
All
Party.
right. Thank you.
As we continue this epic journey through the Creek House shops, we are at the Silk Weaving Studio. Yes. And Dave, again, you are an expert here because you buy so much beautiful, beautiful items here. I'm wearing one of these gorgeous pieces right now, as you are. Tell us about this great shop.
Diana Sanderson and her amazing fellow artists and artisans have been here for almost 40 years. And I have, my niece married a doctor in Playa del Carmen. And I took these down and gave them to grandmothers, the aunts, the mothers, the sisters. One of them stood up in tears. She was a weaver herself, and she said, "There's some of the most beautiful things that she'd ever seen." I got lots of brownie points. I've given them to friends in Thailand, the United States, England. They're just wonderful gifts. And I know that one of the pieces has now gone to the third generation. The grandmother passed away, she passed it to her daughter. Daughter passed away and she gave it to her granddaughter. So they're family heirloom pieces.
Definitely, and again, as we talked about a lot of the shops, a lot of collectibles, these do get passed down generations.
Yes.
And there's hats in here, and there's beautiful clothing, as well as just the scarves really, really do stand out.
I'm gonna wear one.
I think you
I'm
should.
gonna buy one for me.
I think you should, Dave. Here we are at Silk Weaving Studio in the Creek House shops. And another beautiful gallery on Granville Island in the Creek House area. We have Perry with us. You've been here 12 years. What a beautiful gallery. Tell us how you got started and a little bit about the gallery.
Well, before I was running a kiosk in different shopping malls, then later I found this location. It's got a beautiful scene outside, and it's a very nice location to show people from around the world my pearl jewelry. And then later on, I start collecting many different artworks by local artists, photographers. So we have a good collection of photography, paintings. We have beautiful Vancouver skyline pictures by Chris Collicott, Karen Pollock, Manfred Krauss. These are international award-winning photographers. And we have other artists like Tony Max, Gary Nate, contemporary digital artists. So we have a bit of everything.
And Perry, you are an artist as well. You create beautiful pearl jewelry, as you mentioned right at the beginning. Tell us a little bit more detail about that.
I started a pearl business many years back, about 24 years, so I have like access to all kinds of shapes, colors from different places all around the world. So if you come here, and you can find some interesting colors and different type of pearls, like a blister pearls, Tahitian, South Sea, and freshwater, all kinds. And you'll find many designs. Some are traditional, some are contemporary, abstract design. So there's a lot of choices for everybody.
Quite a variety. So awesome gallery, Blue Seas Gallery here in the Creek House area. And Jim, you're right next door, right? Let's check out what Jim's doing.
Why, yes, Lita, I am directly next door at Top of the Ramp. Gift and accessories. I'm with the owner, Arva, who welcomes it. You've been here 10 years.
Yes.
Yes, congratulations. Tell our viewers about what they can find in this wonderful store.
Yeah, because Granville Island is a very beautiful, good view, and this have a sea said we can have good view in here, and very summer many custom like is very cold is here.
Yeah, you've got a great view of the harbor and the water and everything. And if I'm coming in your store, what can I see here? You've got great scarves here first, right?
Yes, we have many beautiful scarf and many special cap, and many have souvenirs items, just like a magnet and kitchen,
Right.
and tea tower, and so many custom liked.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for letting me come in your store.
Okay, thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Well, we're back upstairs at Sandbar. What a great little tour we took with Dave. You keep introducing us to more shops that I'm completely addicted to now.
She's got no money left in her bank account, I
All
see.
my holiday shopping will be done.
Yeah, just in
Granville
time for
Island.
the holidays. Dave, one of the things we didn't mention last time, a year ago in Creek House, episode number 1, is the tidiness and the cleanliness of this area.
Well, I come in about 6 or 6:30 every morning, 7 days a week, and clean. And then I work very diligently with CMHC staff to do the parking lot and the streets around it. And with the two of us working hard at it, that's what makes the island so neat and tidy.
It is noticeable. And one other thing, before we talk about our friends here, we should make a comment about that new sign that you have downstairs in the courtyard,
Yes.
which was not there when we filmed last time, but it ties in with some wonderful segments we have been doing with you.
It's a new sign, and it basically says, please help make gentle our world. Practice random acts of kindness and senseless acts of beauty. I remember my grandmother talking about that, and it doesn't have to be grand. It can be simple as holding a door open and saying, after you, or it can be going into McDonald's and buying a homeless person a meal and walking out and give them a hot meal. If you've got the ability to do a grand thing, go ahead and do it. But I think if everybody practiced them, we change the tone of how we as a society works.
There are some people here we're going to talk to, Dave, but first you want to mention a few people that couldn't join us today for this wonderful lunch.
One of my tenants, Serena Public Relations, Laura and her staff are off doing a major job. They're a little tiny, probably one of my 2 smallest offices, but they do work across Canada. Really wonderful public relations people. We have 2 people from the public market that people know. We have Zara's Pasta Nest, and we also have Granville Island Tea. They both have some back of house warehouse in their office here. Great to have them. I certainly enjoy the little Christmas baskets that magically appear outside my door every year. This is a brand new guest that we have, and I'm there. They've just moved into an office that we've totally got it and renovated. And I think I'll let her speak for her wonderful staff and co-workers.
Hi, I'm Stella. I'm with Coca Architecture, and we're freshly new tenant to the Creek House, just 2 weeks. So we're super excited to be here because we've actually always thought Granville Island was a great community to be part of, and to be amongst creative people. We were really excited that David gave us the chance to become tenants. We're an architecture firm, and we do mainly multifamily residential work, and we have actually an office in Victoria, and this is now our new home, and the Victoria office is very jealous that we get to enjoy the amenities and the creativity and the super great vibes that's on Granville Island. And we're just like, I know that like architecture, we're designers, and it's often a very technical work, but we're just really excited about the lunch options here. And I'm sure you guys have all enjoyed that, but it's new to us still.
Next, I'd like to introduce Gary Anderson. Gary is one of 4 people that started the redevelopment of Granville Island in the very early 1970s. He was joined by Mitch Taylor, Eric Weiser and Mr. Mohammed. And I think their vision, they did this building, they did the CHEK, and they did the brewery. They were followed 1978, the public market opened when the federal government in 1976 spent $28 million down here. I think it's been a wonderful partnership between the public and the private sector for decades, and I hope it continues into the future. I think Gary just really needs to be congratulated for his vision and dedication for almost 50 years now.
Absolutely.
It is 50 years, exactly this month, actually. Mitch Taylor and Bill Harvey came down here in 1971 and bought this complex from the paint company for $18,000, which seems like a bargain, but it wasn't. They invested quite a bit of money in it, and by the time I came down a year later, they were broke. So I raised the money, and we carried on, finished the project. And in those days, we had red-hot boom chains across the street. We had, in the Arts Club Theater, we had a monstrous acid tank that they used to clean the boom chains. And I worked on the tugboats in those days, and they weighed 130 pounds, and the boom chains weighed 125. So it's been an interesting run. And what happened to 50 years, I have no idea.
Well, congratulations.
Congratulations, Gary.
Okay, next up, David.
Mike Dibley, a massive creative, and he's on the 3rd floor of the Creek House in another little tiny office he shares with a very creative partner. They do a lot of web work, which is total Greek to me. I'm going to hire them to do a web page for Granville Island, or not for Granville Island, but for the Creek House. I recognize my limitations incredibly, and I'm going to turn it over to them and a wonderful Ukrainian refugee who's staying at my house now, and they're going to do a website.
Wonderful.
Awesome. Thank you very much, David, for having me here today. So my name is Mike Dibley. I'm the director of Massive Creative. We're a small design and branding agency, and we've been in the Creek House since 2015 now. So it's been great to, I live in the area. I'm able to bike down to Granville Island every day and enjoy the food at lunch and everything. So it's been a great place to be. So my company focuses on graphic design, brand identity, packaging, and video and motion graphics as well. So we have our hands in all sorts of creative projects, and being in a creative collaborative environment on Granville Island has been amazing. We work with some excellent clients doing package design for products that you can see in the market itself, and as well as wine packaging and a lot of great video work and print work for some nonprofits, including the Vancouver International Wine Festival, as well as the Vancouver International Jazz Festival, which every year hosts some concerts down here on Granville Island as well. It's really been a great opportunity to be down here on Granville Island, and as we said, these collaborative environments that we share. When we first moved in, there was a motion designer down the hall that we were introduced to, and we worked with him and still continue to work with him to this day. So these collaborative environments, foster more business and help support the tenants of the Creek House altogether.
Let's just circle back with you, Paul. We talked to you toward the beginning of the show, and any couple more thoughts on Arts Umbrella and all the great work that you do.
Well, just that Arts Umbrella has literally been a part of this most recent vision of Granville Island being a part of the public realm, this cultural hub. And in 1979, when it was really being transitioned from this industrial site into what it has become today, Arts Umbrella was welcomed to the island and by CMHC, and we've grown over many, many years, the last 43 years, and it's been an extraordinary journey. We are an organization that is entirely dedicated to serving young people, children and youth, through arts education. We really believe in the power of the arts in the lives of young people, the transformative impact of the arts, really beyond all of the skills training, whether it's in dance or theater or architecture and art and design. It teaches compassion and it teaches courage and all these wonderful human traits that we need now more than ever. And so when we think of this next generation and the many generations that have been a part of this island, it's been amazing.
Well, thanks, Paul. It's always inspiring to hear you, and it's inspiring to hear all the tenants. And Dave has he's really created collaboration amongst not just Creek House, but Granville Island as well. And look at the magic of TV. We've got Mike's tower that arrived.
Mike has promised he'll share some of it, so that's very nice. Dave, we will be wrapping up in a few seconds, but you have some final thoughts here, including some other folks that couldn't be here today.
I've got two tenants that can't be here. One is Labrec Ventures. They've gone back home to visit family, can't be here. They produce art cards that they send across Canada, United States, and Europe. I have another one who's the community planner, Scott Bilfus. And I have one last announcement.
Okay.
Barry Mowat and the Vancouver International Sculpture Biennale and Bushland Mowat Gallery, in collaboration with several other people, have given me $2.5 million worth of art, which I am going to frame and give out to various nonprofits, community groups. And I'm going to ask Granville Islanders to participate in helping send that around the Vancouver, Lower Mainland to raise much needed funds for a myriad of causes. And that includes Arts Umbrella and Boca de Lupo Theater.
Wow, we'll definitely be including that in one of our upcoming shows.
And speaking of shows, it's the end of this show. From Sandbar in Creek House on Granville Island, I'm Jim Gordon.
And I'm Lita Leapin.
We'll see you on the next edition of Our City Tonight.
Closed captioning and other promotional considerations provided by Hamilton High Street Senior Residence, Richmond's newest senior living community. Don't forget to check out past episodes and individual interviews, all on the Our City Tonight YouTube channel. Outdoor wear for Jim and Lita provided by Helly Hansen, alive since 1877. The Richmond Sentinel, providing news, entertainment, and human interest stories in print and online.